Welcome to AmityCast. My name is Ellis.
My name is Ellis.
His name is Matthew, and welcome back. We missed last week because someone decided to go out of town.
Yeah.
But we're back. We're excited to talk about the ending of Loki, which we know we're about a week late on it because of that. But we're also going to talk about we're about halfway through season 5 of Rick and Morty, so we're going to talk about that as well. But yeah, I'm excited. Spoiler warning for both of those shows.
No, we're just gonna talk about the entire thing. It's not spoil it. It's honestly Kang, to be honest. No spoilers, by the way.
No spoilers, immediately spoils it.
So, by the way, so King, honestly, spoilers.
The spoilers. Loki is in the show. He did live past Endgame. And Loki way look. But yeah, this was a pretty good episode. There wasn't like too much of Loki, to be honest. Like, he didn't really do too much because you're just kind of like sitting in here and this guy talk for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a lot of Kang talking. It was it was kind of like an exposition dump at the end, but I think they did it pretty well.
The actor, the guy, was very good. Very good performance. Very good setup for the villain. They set him up way earlier than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Because like Thanos was literally like 2 years ago. And that took like 10 years, and they're just kind of like throwing Kang in there. And then Owen Wilson, like, what? The next season he's not even gonna know Loki.
Right, yeah, that's crazy. They were setting up for season 2, and how the ending is like all these different branch realities, and Loki came back, and it was like, oh well, we don't know you. Who are you?
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. It's kind of interesting because it's a parallel. Because at the beginning of the show, Mobius knew Loki, and Loki's like, "Who are you?" And at the end, Loki knows Mobius, and Mobius like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be very interesting. I don't really know where it will go from here. Apparently, Loki's confirmed, like not like confirmed, but like he's rumored to be in Doctor Strange too.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know how long this movie's gonna be at that point.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with Multiverse of Madness. I guess there was a report that's saying that it's going to be the scariest Marvel movie. I don't know what that means.
Like classic Sam Raimi, which is like, what, is there going to be a tree scene?
Deep cut reference. But it was really interesting. I know Tom Hiddleston, his love for playing the character it got reinvigorated by the show. He said
he now said he wants to play it until he can't play it anymore.
Yeah, he now said he will play it as long as he possibly
can. He originally said like, "Oh, I guess I'll do Endgame."
Right. Yeah. Which
I apparently got paid like $60 million for that minute.
I mean, hey, he's living a pretty good life.
And I think for Loki, he got paid like $9 million an episode.
Yikes. Well, that's
Of course, I'd want to play it till I die.
Yeah, I would also want to do that. What? But I gotta say, these 6 episodes, I really enjoyed it. I think that it was a really fun ride all the way through. It was a good first season, but the fact that they put a kind of a cliffhanger on at the end for a season 2 is exciting. I really don't know. I mean, it's gonna be fun to see like how much they can expand upon the concept going into another season. So.
Yeah, I don't really know where it's gonna go at all. I really liked Kang. It's gonna be interesting with how they do all this variant stuff with the character, and it's very interesting, like how the explanation for why the TVA is a thing, and because he literally is just afraid of himself.
Right. Yeah, which is actually I think it's a really great way to.
It's kind of Rick and Morty-ish, where he's like, oh, all my selves met up and hung out, and eventually we just kind of had a war with each other.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. I think it's a good way to like portray this character in a modern setting because Kang the Conqueror has been a famous Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how he is in the comics.
Yeah, sure. I mean he's been a famous villain for a long time, but I think this portrayal, at least for like this little bit that we've seen so far, I think it's a good way to go about it. The actor they got for him was very charismatic. He brought a lot of charm to the role, which is kind of what I wanted to see for it if it was there. And it really did make sense. Like, all 6 episodes going together, it actually really makes sense. That's what's great about this series, is that the episodes really go together. It feels like one tight narrative.
Yeah, and noticeable thing with the other shows that Disney's made with Marvel is that this one feels like genuinely rewatchable.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and like once you watch this episode, it really like puts in perspective a lot of stuff from the first 5 episodes.
Right. Like after WandaVision, I was like, okay, that was cool. After I haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier yet, but like from what I've heard, it's another one. It's like, oh yeah, you like it, but then it's like it's fine. But then Loki, this has been incredible. It's one of my favorite shows that I've seen like newer for a couple years now. It's only 6 episodes, and it's just very impressive. I think.
I wonder if they'll have more episodes for the next season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it wasn't even really that too much Owen Wilson this episode,
right?
And then the Ravonna character just kind of left.
Right, which
is definitely a big setup for some future movie because I know she's like very involved with Kang in the comics.
Right.
So I'm assuming. Yeah, mine's just kind of attached to my note. And it's kind of interesting as well that Loki was very crucial to Thanos' setup in the MCU, and now he's really crucial to Kang.
Yeah, it's they've portrayed the character as very instrumental throughout the entire MCU. So I mean, I'm really intrigued to see where they go with it because, I mean, there is a lot of potential for more. I think. I mean, with I think this first season, it's a good open and shut story, but also like has that cliffhanger going forward, which gets me really excited for season 2. I'm a big fan of it. I mean, we've talked about every episode pretty much.
Still, we don't have too much besides literally causing the next like 7 years of content, and then
yeah.
And of course being a woman. Then
actually made her. She was a really important character. Just really, I mean, it seemed like every character that they brought about in this show was necessary in some way. At least they gave
also,
it.
they made like Miss Minutes really scary.
Right, Miss Minutes was like creepy as heck in this last episode, which I actually I didn't realize was actually the voice of Tara Strong, which is cool. She's been a great cartoon voice actor for a long time. So
yeah, I was definitely surprised. I didn't think they were gonna have Kang in it.
Right.
So, like I thought they might have when like I first heard of the show, but it was a big surprise. I really loved. They made the exposition really entertaining. It felt very like you're answering a lot of questions. Like the whole line with Loki being like, "Sylvie can't trust anybody, and I can't be trusted," is like actually a pretty deep line.
Right. That is
pretty
actually,
well done.
I really liked that. It was a great. It was.
And there's even
well
the line
because
like in the end, Loki's still a villain. He's still done terrible things.
Right.
And like literally, they say like we're all villains here. You have to choose to be a villain for the right intentions.
Right.
Which is really. It's good to do that with that character because I never want to be a full-out hero because it's just like it's not really in his nature.
Which I really think is the best way they could have gone about it because we all knew like just going in like we found out a while ago they were making a show about like a Loki show coming out this summer, and it's like he's a villain character, so how is like he gonna transition into protagonist type role, and they really like those lines like being a villain like you're gonna be a villain no matter what, so do it for the right reason. It really is a great way to epitomize the character going forward, and just with
because there has been critiques that he's been like too not as like competent or villainous as he was.
Right.
But to be fair, in the first episode, his whole life was torn apart. Like
right.
Every idea of himself was completely turned.
Yeah, which is I think Hiddleston did a great job with his delivery of a lot of the emotions with that. He had to he really had to portray a really wide range, and I think he did a great job with that. And it's just like you see a lot of emotional development from the character. I was
really expecting some sort of Thor cameo, like actual Chris Hemsworth, but
right, yeah.
I guess because in the trailer there was like King Loki scenes, that were just not in it, and a lot of people thought that was gonna be like the Timekeeper, like it would just be a different variant of Loki that was like really evil,
right?
But I guess it was actually a deleted scene, which would have shown it was gonna be like in the first episode, which would have shown Throg. Which would have been voiced by Chris Hemsworth. So, I don't know.
I'm fine with that not being in there.
It is like a full done scene though, so like we could see it at some point.
Right. But I definitely think that we see a whole nother arc start within these 6 episodes and gets close to being concluded because the whole... I mean, first, like, seeing, like... You have to see Loki's entire, like, being be completely turned upside down in the first episode. Then as you go forward, it's like Loki has to is helping the TVA, but like trying to come up with some plot like around whatever he's doing, and then the stuff with Sylvie, and it's like are they like falling for each other? Like what is this weird like dynamic that's happening? And like you said, like that line where he was like, "You can't trust anyone, and I can't be trusted." It's kind of like 2 different spectrums of like the Loki person. It's kind of
the kiss was kind of weird, but in the end, it was used to deceive him.
Right.
So. Yeah.
I don't even know how to feel
even the last line from Kang just being like, "I'll see you around."
Right,
it's
yeah.
pretty...
I'll see you soon.
It's pretty. It really sticks with you a little bit when you think about it, because he's definitely confirmed. I think the next appearance is Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
And he'll definitely be around for a while, I believe, because I feel like after Kang, they'll probably do Galactus or something.
Probably, yeah.
And Silver Surfer.
That makes the most sense.
So, and then after that, I don't know what they would do at all. We'll
yeah,
see.
who knows about like the far ahead future of the MCU? But like, I think
they got to make Kang more important than Thanos, which they kind of are setting it up to be way more important.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Which is huge, especially. I mean, Thanos was such a well-written villain. They did such a good job with him in the Infinity War and Endgame saga. So
there's also that line where he's literally like, you know, everything that you've done, I've let happen. I've just paved the road.
Right.
You just walked.
Which is what's like what is like scary because like of like the actual power you can.
How much he knows.
Right. Yeah. And like how they're actually gonna go about like putting together this next phase is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and he's like, well, if this war happens again, I'll just go through this whole thing again. You know, just reincarnation over and over again.
Right.
And there was even that cool opening logo thing, like where each character like had like a line because you know they were in this time vortex thing, which was pretty neat.
Right.
A lot of cool stuff that the show's done, and you know the TVA is gonna be weird because I'm assuming we'll see Loki in this like alternate type of reality for at least a good part of next season.
Right.
And then we'll probably also see Mobius in the actual and dealing with the TVA in like the main timeline.
Right.
And
yeah.
whatever Sylvie's doing. And if Kang's gonna be involved again or not, we don't know. I would assume.
I'd assume as well, especially with the ending, like the shot that we're using right here, like
instead of the 3 timekeepers, it's just Kang himself, which shows that's gonna be different TVA. Right. So.
I mean,
also the Loki variants that are still around that we saw last episode.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who knows what's gonna happen with that? We need more alligator Loki.
Yeah, alligator Loki, I think, should like really be expanded upon next season.
Alligator Loki versus Throg.
That wouldn't be fair.
He has a hammer.
Yeah, Throg would win easily. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
Lightning.
Good show.
He can jump. Yeah, I didn't say wow at all. He didn't ride a jet ski. The director of the season isn't coming back for the second season.
Right, which is gonna be like probably a whole new team.
Because I guess she's doing other Marvel stuff, but she never intended to do a second season, which is good. You know, I don't want her to be forced.
Right, yeah.
Which is actually directed by a woman, by the way. I didn't know that.
Which is cool, yeah.
Yeah, there's not been too many woman directors, but there's been more lately.
Right, it's been great to see more women be integrated into the world of film, because it's always been a pretty like heavy like male biased genre, at least like who like gets most of the glory for like a lot of what's like going on in certain projects. So it's nice to see women take the lead on a lot more stuff.
Got misogynist in the crowd.
We've seen that happen a lot more. We've seen it happen a lot more often over the last like 10 years or so, maybe even further back. I'm not sure.
I remember when like I think it was season 3 of Rick and Morty. They like added some more women writers on the team, and like apparently some of the episodes weren't great, and like a lot of like stupid fans were just like, "Oh, it's because you brought women writers in."
It's so dumb.
And it's like, you know, the pilot exists, right?
But these 6 episodes of Loki were very enjoyable. It got me excited for the MCU again. I mean, we'll just have to see if the MCU can keep up with it.
I think the next show is What If? Because it comes out in August. I don't know what's after that. I'm assuming it's Shang-Chi.
I think it's Shang-Chi after that, yeah.
And I don't know what show's next.
Might be
Hawkeye or something.
I haven't looked at the schedule for a little bit.
It's also been interesting because a lot of the street level, like main Earth stuff, is setting up its own villain thing. Well, you know, like Loki and stuff is going to set up like Kang. So it's going to be like interesting, like street level and galactic level threats. Which is kind of a cool thing, because like you could eventually have those two meet up.
Yeah.
For like a big finale thing that'd kind of be on the same level as Infinity War.
Which is a lot of fun. I think, I mean...
I just really hope someday, like, since this Loki's going to still be around, we'll eventually see him meet Thor again in the main timeline.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
I don't know if that would happen in the next Thor movie. Like, I think Chris Hemsworth also said he's not going to be done with Thor after that 4th film. Probably just not have another, like, just Thor movie.
Oh, okay.
Because at that point, I don't know what you would do.
Right.
So, I still have to introduce Horse Thor, so.
You mean Thor's?
No, it's called, what, Beta Ray Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always call it Thor's. Anyway. It's definitely getting me excited for the MCU again going forward. I mean, the MCU, it's been pretty...
Weird to think about how far it's been.
Yeah. It's been pretty consistent with quality for a while. I mean, the first Avengers was a pretty strong film. I mean, you look at like Age of Ultron, but then there's
mediocre.
it's whatever. But then there's Infinity War and Endgame, which are both surprisingly good, not just as like spectacles, but like as actual films as well.
They just gotta get good directors on, good creatives.
Yeah. I mean, they're still making it expansive, and I think they're still going to continue to do a good job with it. So I'm excited to see if they can keep up with that quality. Then I'm definitely going to be invested for a while.
Yeah, and like they're making it sound like you don't have to watch the shows from the movies, but like I feel like if you really watch WandaVision and Loki and Welcome to Doctor Strange 2, it's just going to be a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely.
And feel like you know what's going on better. So yeah, but yeah, I'd recommend the series overall. Very well done. I don't know if I have a ranking for the episodes. This one's definitely not the best episode. It's a really good conclusion, though.
I'd say episode 4 is probably my favorite. Maybe episode 1. Episode 1 was really good. It was a great.
5 was pretty good too.
It was a great like opening into the series.
Yeah, the second episode was the longest one.
Yeah, second episode was fine.
Yeah, third one's easily the worst.
Yeah, episode 3 is easily the worst. I think it was still like valuable and important to the series, but it's definitely like the lowest. I'd say probably episode 3 and last. Then episode 2, and probably episode 5 and then episode 6, episode 1, episode 4, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that for now. I do think Gamera 3 should be up there.
Gamera 3 Revenge Virus, if you've never heard of it, go check out the Gamera trilogy. It's fantastic. If you like kaiju, all the way. Gamera's the best.
Probably already seen it if you're a big fan of kaiju.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
If you're just a Godzilla fan, I recommend it.
It's a turtle. It's a turtle. Komobus.
But I really like what they did with the show. I'm very impressed with it. Tom Hiddleston's performance, I think, was very good. I think he did a great job. And I'm really excited to see how they're gonna go with it going forward. So, in the season 2.
Yeah, it is confirmed at the end. There was no post-credit scene either.
Right. So
it's just one
a,
post-credit scene the whole show, which is kind of weird.
Right. It's pretty much just a pure cliffhanger. So.
It was a very linear, very like you knew it was like written beforehand. Prepared. You knew like there was no like winging it.
Right.
You knew like the story like was just it needed to be told, and it was told the way it was supposed to. So.
Right.
I was happy to see the vision all the way through, and however they continue it, I hope they continue with the same quality.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And I think they probably will, because the show's been like a pretty good hit. I've seen, like, I've heard people at work also just watch it to watch it,
right.
Just because I've heard about it. So, I think even on my flight back from California, people were watching it just on the plane.
That's awesome.
Casually.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's really fantastic. It kind of feels like its own like little movie, like.
I feel like this is easily the best like Loki con they've ever had.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely made me like the character a lot more than I did. I think it added a lot more depth to it. I think it was really well written in that way. I think it was a fun narrative. Did a good job with a lot of.
I can easily see how like Hiddleston would read this and like immediately want to actually come back.
Right. Yeah.
Not just for money, but like it's actually a good story.
It's actually like love of the character, which is just incredible to see again. So.
Yeah, I think apparently said on set he would like correct certain like things in the script just because he wanted it to like be as authentic as to what has been set up since he's been around for so long.
Right, and he definitely knows the character the best as someone who's been portraying it so well for so many years now.
Yeah, it's weird to think he's been around since like 2010, I think. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I think that's probably about it for
Yeah.
Loki. Definitely check it out.
I don't have any more closing thoughts on Loki. I'd say I'd give it like probably an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll probably give it like an 8.5, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like a 10 because like it could have been longer, a little bit more in depth, a little bit less. It really could have helped if it was like a bit longer and like just kind of.
There probably could have been more. I mean, I didn't like sense.
There was no really big final fight scene, which I was happy with.
Right.
Because like Kang didn't even fight at all, which is gonna be interesting to see how they show that later. But he was very much just the final Kang that's at the end of everything. Now like the war.
Right.
Torn Kang.
I think they did a great job with just character and overall story development. I really like that. Visually, it looks really great.
The whole show looked really great.
Overall, the writing, acting, visuals, all great. Just maybe
even the music,
maybe a little room for improvement in some of it. And yeah, even this, it was well scored as well. So probably like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I mean, I normally am better at rating movies because it's a bit different for like a series, but that's probably about the ballpark I would give it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we move on to the next thing.
We can move on to a show that I love but also frustrates me. sometimes. At least recently. I've been very bipolar with it recently, actually. So I know that Rick and Morty is pretty popular. At least around like season 3, it really spiked in popularity. It was
like end of season 2, beginning of season 3.
Right, especially like season 2 ended with like that cliffhanger, and then people had to wait so long, and it was like a lot of hype when it finally came back. And for Rick and Morty fans, it's been nice that season 5, like, they had it planned out when it was gonna come out, and like.
Yeah, I even think they're believe they're starting work on season 6.
Right, yeah, and like actually getting consistent like releasing and all that stuff is great for fans.
The creator's also working on that other show he's doing.
Solar Opposites.
Yeah. Like he's definitely gonna be burnt out by 10 seasons.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Which I have to look into Solar Opposites sometime. I hear some people actually think it's even better than Rick and Morty.
Apparently, like the first season's like good, but then like the second season really picks up. Because I think there's only 2 seasons right now.
Yeah.
Because it comes out it's like Hulu only, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think it's Hulu.
Because it didn't like go on Adult Swim or anything. Because I don't know why Adult Swim wouldn't want it, but
I don't know. But we're halfway through season 5.
The last episode we covered was the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sperm episode and the weird Hellraiser themed episode.
Yeah, I mean we're halfway through season 5, and it's been interesting. It's been kind of, I've definitely enjoyed every episode as its own thing, but like I'm really we've discussed it, like really hoping that the second half of the season can be a lot more like canon and story building based.
Yeah, for sure. I really love the story stuff and like the emotional endings, and those are always the best ones because it shows the complexities of the writing more than just being smart or having cool concepts.
Right.
It shows that they can just really have a good narrative. Yeah,
delving into the emotions of that narrative.
And all the characters are unique and different. And I guess one thing was at least Summer actually was very much more involved in the latest episode.
Right, which is cool.
And they had a Morty and Summer episode when it's very much seemed like it's either Rick and Summer or Rick and Morty.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's nice to see because, you see throughout the series that characters like Jerry and Summer, Beth, they're just kind of they're just also there, a part of the family. But they are instrumental to a lot of the narrative and a lot of individual episodes.
The only really narrative that seems like it really continued over from season 4 is Beth and Jerry being much more attached.
Right. Yeah. And actually working on their marriage.
The ending for Rick at the end of season 4 was very he felt isolated, alone, the family less needed him. But I feel like it's mostly been. I think there's one joke about it, but otherwise it's mostly been not mentioned or acknowledged.
Right. It's just kind of weird because of I think what it seems like is hopefully the first half is just supposed to be they wanted to have fun with some of their concepts that they had, some of the references, some of the some of the inspiration stuff that they wanted to do, and just do a few fun episodes. And hopefully the next 5 can be a lot more based on carrying on after that and looking into that. There have been some
it was weird because the Hellraiser episode was Jerry's you're just using this to laugh at me, and it's they kind of done that the whole show.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cool if we got Jerry actually becoming more confident, a better person. And it seems like he's very stagnant. It seems all the characters have been stagnant so far.
Right. I feel like Morty even
Morty had that one episode, the 3rd one, which was actually really good.
It was really good.
But then the 4th one's just him fucking a horse machine. And it's just okay.
Yeah, it's just with some of these episodes, with at least through most of season 5, it seems like a lot of emotional maturity we've seen Morty gain. At least the C-137 Morty that we've seen gain over the course of the series has kind of been reverted back a little bit. I don't know if it's because the new writers are trying to maybe experiment with the new writers maybe and maybe there's a little bit of sloppiness with some of what's been set up because of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I mean,
it's definitely frustrating, but it's also the show's never advertised itself as a constant building narrative.
Right.
It's definitely had that, which makes it unique because it's got both.
Right, which
makes it more long lasting.
Which is what's really made me fall in love with the show.
More focused.
Right.
So they need a good balance, which so far I haven't really seen the exact balance this season. Besides, I would say episode 3. And episode 2 was really cool, I thought, with the concept. The names have been really fucking out there.
More Dinner Rick Andre.
Yeah.
Which is just stop trying to put Morty and Rick in all the titles. It's fine. It'll be fine.
I don't know, for some reason, they get more views if they have it in the name. I don't think that would make any sense.
I don't think so.
So I don't know why they're doing it.
Who knows? All I know is that...
I think they know it's getting ridiculous.
I mean...
I feel like you said, there's some theories that maybe the reason why they're stagnant so much this season is that there's actually, a plot reason, and it'll be revealed later, which could be cool.
It would be cool.
But I also want to see them main ones I've been following for 4 seasons.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's just I don't really get it. They were talking about I don't know who it was, but they asked somebody about that and how like
some time loop thing.
how it's more of like a time loop and like time doesn't actually pass. It's like they're never gonna like have like a birthday episode, but they'll have as many Christmases that they want, and it's just like I don't know. It seems like you're trying to
You're like picking and choosing.
Right, picking
What's
and
easy.
choosing, trying to get the best of both there, which is like, it's stupid because like it kind of it makes like that emotional maturity you see from the characters a lot less valuable, and it's kind of frustrating for me, especially since like I was saying with Morty, it seems like he's just reverted back to some of the maturity that he's gained, and it's like, well, like what's the point of it if you're just gonna like if it's just gonna go back later? I mean, Rick seems a little bit more like continuing that development. He seems more vulnerable this season, more like susceptible to different things. Like he's like in season 1 he was like love isn't real, it's just like a chemical reaction to make like beings mate or whatever, and now he's like there's been a couple times where he's like, oh man, I'm like falling in love with these people or whatever, and it's like,
I don't know if that's character progression or it's just for humor, because like there was that one horse lady where she's like randomly just like, oh, I want to be with you.
Right.
And then it just kind of ends. It's kind of a weird joke because it wasn't really set up at all.
They've kind of thrown it out as jokes, which is like, I mean, I do want to see like that actual character development. I think it's kind of like, I think it kind of holds the show back a little bit in my opinion. I'm not sure exactly. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a sign of just. I don't think the show's like gonna reach like a lot of other shows where like just get so tired of it.
Right.
And it gets so like just ended already, but like I guess it does maybe show warning signs of the show kind of fatiguing itself.
Right.
If they don't become more focused and start following up more.
Which I will say, I mean, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. The episodes still make me laugh. I still enjoy the concepts. And then episode 3 of season 5 definitely gave me a lot of hope.
I feel like 2nd and 3 both showed like a really good story episode, a really good concept episode that kind of
right.
They're not super connected, but they work together well.
It was a good mesh of that, I think.
And then 4 was like a very weird episode. Like I love Sticky.
Yeah.
I guess episode 7 was kind of cool. The killer sperm thing. They definitely riffed on stuff like I know like they did a poster which riffed on Tremors, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then 5 was like about Hellraiser a little bit, where they like riffed on a lot of like the pain pleasure thing.
Right. Which I think they had fun with that, and then like, which that was good. I mean they had at the end when they were like, oh Rick, you're gonna have to like. And then Rick was like, all right, fine. Anyways, like, Jerry, like, I remember talking to Jerry.
There was that good moment where he's, like, saying that you should just love Jerry for who he is or whatever.
Right.
But, like, he basically admits that he does like Jerry, which was kind of a cool moment. But it's never followed up on, at least not yet.
Right, yeah, which, I mean, hopefully they can follow up on that. But, I mean, going episode by episode 1, I definitely really enjoyed. I mean, the introduction of Mr. Nimbus, I think, was a great, like, foil character for Rick.
Yeah, but it hasn't really been shown more of, which I think it will be at some point. Same with the Beth clone.
Right, yeah.
Which they do show her again for like 1 second.
Right, she's in there briefly in episode 2.
Which is cool, but it's also like, if there's this time loop thing, why is there all this stuff happening?
I mean, seeing the Mr. Nimbus character was a great way to expand on, like looking at Rick's development, like how he was like, I used to fear you, I used to respect you, and like seeing like...
Yeah, I think we even said that because Mr. Nimbus even brought up his wife.
Right, yeah.
So, which is kind of weird.
Which actually shows that there definitely has been, like that whole, like, at the beginning of Season 3 when he was talking about a totally fabricated origin story where there could actually be some truth to that. And it's really interesting to see where they actually go from there.
Yeah, we just need more story building, not less funny sci-fi concepts. Like, we still don't know what's up with Evil Morty
and like
Citadel.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't even know what happened to Phoenix person because they're just in their garage, I'm assuming.
Right. I don't even know. And it's fun to like allude to canon, but let's maybe actually get some real like canon here soon. And but I definitely liked the first episode. I think it was really good. The whole thing with like Morty and Jessica was like, well, okay. I guess that's.
Another thing is that Rick seems a lot more subdued this season so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me. It just kind of felt like he's a little bit more his usual self. I don't know. It's probably a character reason. Maybe it is how it is at the end of season 4, where maybe it's just kind of in a rut emotionally.
Right.
And it's also because have they used the portal gun at all this season yet?
I don't think so.
Which is cool, but like I don't know. There's like an actual reason for that.
Yeah, is there like an actual is there a reason for it? Which will be exciting to see. And then obviously episode 2 was like all the decoy families that were never like the squids trying to kill them, and they find out the squids are Smith families, and it's like it's a whole thing. Which is it's a really fun episode.
Those episodes was dark.
Oh yeah.
So was the 3rd one.
And then I mean,
fourth one was weird. Yeah.
The second episode was definitely really crazy, but it was a lot of fun. And then the third episode I think was fantastic, like writing was, because
It was one of those like story progression endings that ended on a really like melancholy, drama-filled type of moment.
Right, really somber at the end.
Really like left you in a certain state of mind and kind of stuck with you, instead of haha funny sperm joke.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you really think about it, and it's like you're just looking at Morty.
We do bring back the president as well.
That is cool.
Yeah. I don't know how he's still in office, which I guess could allude to the time loop thing.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? I have no idea anymore. But like in episode 3, with like the episode with Planetina, it's just like looking at like Morty like has how he kind of had some of that development, and then it's just like you see like him like really fall for Planetina, and maybe it's like like following up with like all the stuff with Jessica, or maybe it's just him being young. But it's definitely.
What's gonna happen with Jessica?
Who knows?
She might just be left out, which will be kind of like a weird way to end it because it's been like 5 seasons build up.
Right. But it was a good example of like showing that like young teen love and like falling for somebody, and then like he went through a lot of sacrifice to like free her and like have that relationship with her, but then like he just felt like he couldn't be with her, and then he had to end it, and it wasn't like it's more
because he didn't love her.
Right, it's like that thing that's like he didn't like lose love for her. It's more heartbreaking because he did love her, but he had to break it off because he felt like it. So like it just destroys both of them, and like. Morty, a character that like I've grown to love and like we've all grown to know. It's just like it's heartbreaking, and it was destroying, and it was beautiful actually, of like how much so it was.
Yeah, it was very much like the old man in the sea, about like self-hatred and ego, and
right.
Really showing how we really just in the end fall to our own self-image. Same with season 2 with the Unity episode, the ending of that, with Rick's attempt at suicide, which was very dark. And to season 2 as well, with that really good ending. Just endings like that are really the best ones.
Right, I'm really hoping that season 5 can kind of have a progression like that.
I know the finale will probably be really good for story, because that's what season 4 did. Season 3, not really. Season 3 easily had the most mediocre finale. A good one-off episode, but not a good series end for 2 years.
Right.
And then, I think we'll have a good ending. I think this last half will be... I remember the second half of season 4 started out with the train episode, which was just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
For a Rick and Morty episode.
Never Rick and Morty was incredible. I loved that episode.
Yeah, it was really inventive and different. It really poked fun at... so I think even the train was called like the Cannon Train or something like that.
Right, yeah. And it like really like kind of like destroys the
and at
fourth
the end
wall.
they have that whole like, oh, spend your money, you got to spend your money. It's just
right, yeah, and it really kind of like destroys the fourth wall or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's just they had a lot of fun with it, and they roll with it, and it was a great way for like the writing team and like the like creators themselves to just be like, hey, like this is the show, we're rolling with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not like super disappointed or anything. I'll definitely probably when the season's over rewatch the episodes just again to make sure I get everything, because there's a lot of stuff hidden in these episodes. And
right, I mean, Rick and
once
Morty's
the season's over, I'll change some stuff throughout the whole thing.
Right, I mean, it's a really smart show. There's always probably little things that we miss, but we're definitely gonna have to.
And then.
But yeah, I'm definitely.
All these have been better than the Dragon episode, though.
Yeah, that episode was
not terrible, but.
But yeah, like I've been saying, episode 3 was fantastic. I really liked episodes 1 and 2 as well. 4 and 5 have been a bit of a step back, at least kind of in my opinion, but I think they're still fun. So I'm really excited for 6 through 10.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll
And
just have to see.
I don't know if we'll talk about just the 6th episode next week. We might wait a few.
Yeah, we might wait, but maybe we'll wait till the end of the season. Who knows? We'll see. But like,
this is definitely like a mid-season recap review. So.
And yeah, we'll definitely talk about it more. At least the entire season 5 at some point for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely, at least both of us will see some new movies.
Yeah, I personally want to get back to talking about movies, so hopefully we'll be able to.
Like, I'm seeing Black Widow soon. I know you've seen Space Jam.
Yeah.
So those can definitely be discussed next week.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we end up seeing both for some reason, like if both of us end up seeing both, we can talk about them. We'll be able to figure something out for you. But I mean, if you like listening, be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified.
No. Leave a comment.
Also hit the like button. Comment your thoughts on Loki and Rick and Morty and our voices, I guess. I don't know.
What do you want next?
Yeah, what do you want us to talk about? I mean, we definitely can talk about some like old stuff too. We've seen a lot of movies combined, so there's a lot of stuff like in our memory that we can talk about. So, any suggestions? Be sure to leave them down below. I know our expansive audience is dying to let us know.
Have a great night, day, wherever you are, wherever you're watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourselves. I don't know.
Say your catchphrase.
What is my catchphrase? What? I don't think that's my catchphrase.
Yeah,
I don't think it ever will be. All right, guys. See you next week.
Faux show. Shoddy.